first we got to talk about the stock market, and we actually want to look at it because we have some positive news to report. You can see that stock market is up, and as expected, because of this, a big announcement could be coming that interest rates are going down, which could really get the financial markets going. And here to talk about it is Jason Turner, the chief investment strategist right now. Jason, are you there?
I'm here. Thank you.
Jason, thank you so much for being with us. You're with the Great Lakes, and I know you're talking to us right now about this. How big of a deal is it to have the stock market up today?
Well, the Dow's up nearly 900 points today, and it's a good reflection of the Fed chair's comments this morning and the pivot that it appears the Fed is about to make.
Now, I know you're with the Great Lakes Advisors. Obviously, you're advising a lot of people about their money right now. What would it mean if those interest rates go in the opposite direction, starting to go down even more?
Well, if interest rates start to move lower, and that would come likely at the Fed's September meeting next month, if they start to move lower, things that you buy on credit, be they cars or homes, you'll start to see some easing in those rates. The stock market itself could also interpret that as continued good news and likely continue to fuel the gains we've seen in the market over the last several weeks.
Let's talk about the market as it stands. You know, there was a time where the market was a little unpredictable. We'd see it go up, we'd see it go down. Is there stability? Would you feel safe saying that there's a little bit more stability in our market right now?
There's still some questions around the market. The market is obviously a fickle thing, and it can wax and wane on its own. So I think there's still volatility that we'll see in markets. There's still some uncertainty about if we'll ever see inflationary impact from tariffs. And the Fed chair has now pivoted and said the Fed's primary concern seems to be employment markets. And while the unemployment rate is held steady, the Fed is still getting a little concerned that we're seeing a shrinking in both demand and supply of labor.
You know, you mentioned those tariffs, and we've talked about the tariffs on our newscast repeatedly. How have we seen the tariffs impact the market, if at all?
Well, we saw the market react back in the spring and to some of the summer announcements to the news of tariffs. But in terms of actual tariff impact, until we got inflation reports last week, we haven't seen any sort of green shoots or evidence that tariffs have moved prices up substantially. We're starting to see that now. We always thought that would be a delayed impact until companies really started to feel the impact of those higher prices and the things they bring into the United States. But we're still probably months away from seeing that materialize in any sort of inflation numbers.
I know that you're an investment strategist, a chief investment strategist. If you have a client right now that comes to you and says, Jason, you know, I want to invest some money, I'm not really sure which direction to go, what would you tell them is something to invest in right now?
Well, one of the most important maxims for investors to remember is it's about time in the markets, not timing the markets. We're not big proponents of trying to time a market entry point. You want to be in the market. As you can see by moves like today, the market can go up significantly, and you don't want to miss those big up days. So getting invested is key, and getting invested in a diversified portfolio. As I mentioned, there's volatility still out there. There's still uncertainty about how the market might react if we see some high inflation numbers, or if we see the unemployment rate start moving up significantly, or the Fed surprises us and doesn't do anything in September. You want a diversified portfolio. So if you're closer to needing that money, be it retirement day, kids' college, or the like, you want to make sure you've mixed in stocks and bonds. But if your time horizon's well out there, you can invest in the equity market, set it and forget it, and set your eyes 10 years down the horizon.
Let me ask you this, because one particular investment that's come up before, definitely on this newscast and really across the nation, is talking about investing in things like Bitcoin. Where do you stand when it comes to those types of investments? Do you believe that they're investments to begin with?
Well, when we look at things like cryptocurrencies in the broader pantheon of things you can invest in, like stocks and bonds, cash instruments, even alternative type funds, those Bitcoin or cryptocurrency investments seem like speculative investments to us. They're moving at a speed that does not line up with them being a currency. But there are certainly gains to be made there if you are knowledgeable about the directionality of those markets, which I would argue maybe few people are.
Yeah, very true. Anyone that's watching right now, Jason Turner, maybe they want to get in contact with you. Where can they go to find out more?
Well, to get in contact with me or any of my colleagues at Wintrust Wealth Management or Great Lakes Advisors, you can visit us on the web at wintrustwealthmanagement.com, and you can reach out to any of our advisors. We'd be happy to help you.
Well, we appreciate you coming on Chicago Live right now.